Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new edition of DevLive, a dialogue with speakers and partners about the largest conference dedicated to developers and IT professionals, DevTalks. So we are super excited that we have a short term till we meet again on 8th of June. So today I will introduce you Alex Bordei, Senior Full Stack Developer at Whiz Center. Hi, Alex. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I will not spoil the fun of introducing by yourself, but I would like to mention that you're a full-time open source enthusiast, and you're especially a fan about WordPress and Flutter, and a part-time IoT hobbyist. So I'm curious to find out more about Flutter, because you will also have an introduction at DevTalks. And till then, can you introduce yourself and maybe describe yourself in a few words?
Sure. So thank you very much for introducing me. You gave all the details. So,
so I took your introduction, basically.
Yeah, I will do my best. So hello everybody. My name is Alex Bordei. I'm 30 years old. Fortunately or unfortunately? No, fortunately.
I think fortunately, because I am older. So
okay. So I'm a full stack developer. In the past, I was a full stack web developer. I'm the organizer of Bucharest WordPress Meetup and Flutter Bucharest Meetup. I'm really passionate about open source, being into WordPress communities since 2013, and then in Flutter communities like starting 2 years ago. I'm so excited by new in general. So self-taught programmer, all that I learned for myself, being very passionate. This is like my hobby home in which I was I literally wanted to have you here, like, because this is like the best place in which I'm creative and doing my tasks all over the day. So is this a good description?
Yes, thank you very much. Also, I would like to mention that since you introduced yourself and gave us the details about the fact that you're a lone self-teach developer, you said that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're also teaching and mentoring wannabe IT professionals and developers to reach their healthy careers in IT. So maybe can you mention some things about what was your IT journey like?
Well, this is the reason that I started to offer my services for mentoring other people, because I learned IT, I think, the worst possible way, because I did it by myself without, I don't know, being open to any advice. Everything that I learned because I tried somehow to find a way for me. So as I said, and mostly in my career, I was a single man show in all the companies that I worked. Mostly, not all the companies, but 90%. So I started in 2013 as a C# developer for a company called Rompei. If you remember, in Romania especially, but I think there is all over the Europe in the world. There are the robots into shops that you can pay invoices, like you can recharge your prepay card. And my job was to integrate the provider with the company that was offering these terminals. It was a really, really nice job, and I was a single man show for 2 years for them. It was like crazy, crazy, crazy. And this was like the first moment in which I understood that I'm good at something. I can be good at something, and I can be recognized by being good at something. Then in 2007, after 2015, I started my company, but I did a really big business mistake. I was offering a single service for a single client.
Okay.
And after the client, after my client was like being bankrupt, I was like, okay, so what should I do next? So in 2017, I joined Codable, the most exclusive platform for WordPress outsourcing services, which like it is another world there, like WordPress being made really enterprise, and with, I don't know, coding standards and everything being very professionally touched. So yeah, it was a really, really good experience, and this opened my eyes. Like the IT should be. I had this idea, like, I don't know, everybody was a WordPress developer in that moment, and now everybody can name themselves like I'm a Flutter developer, WordPress developer, I don't know, full stack developer. But do you really are? So there are so many experiences that you can find just in enterprise platforms, in which you really find why the quality matters. And for my personal point of view, there are like, I don't know, 5% WordPress developers that are really WordPress developers. Yeah. Everyone else are like, I don't know, understanding some concepts, but not being fluent in WordPress. So this is what I learned from Codable. Then I was working with Crowd Favorite, which is like the founder of Crowd Favorite was one of the original founders of WordPress. Yeah, back like 18, 20 years back. And then I got back to another company that was making these terminals called Kiwi, which was like, it was an easy job for me because I had all this experience starting from the first employee. It was a really nice job. And then I retook the freelancing path, and now I just started in October my little bakery, software bakery company, in which we are like we are 7 people right now.
No, that's a good team. So it's a good number.
Yeah, it is like a family.
Yes.
We all had the same path, we all had the same concerns, and now we are working together because we know what we need. So it's nice.
So congrats, and may you have many projects that you are fond of.
There are many. Let's see the done projects.
You're a quite big team, so 7, yeah.
Yeah.
For start.
It is nice because we have a lot of designers. So when you have talent, design talent, the coding side is like doable.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of your job?
Well, it will sound philosophic. So it seems like everything is like in the beginning is like an entropy. There is nothing there, like nothing, or there can be everything. So having this sensation that you put things together and constrain them to work the best way possible and create a system that is running for his own is like the most, for me, it's like the most creative sensation that I can have. So yeah, it's like being a kid with all sort of Lego toys, I don't know, IoT toys and software toys, and actually bringing them together, all of them, from my experience, and then creating a new component, a new product, which is like, this is like the most interesting way of. So this is why we are not really focusing on maintaining. If we have to maintain something that is not working properly, we certainly discuss about refactoring, because we need again re-put the puzzle together. So this is like the most interesting sensation.
Oh, okay, thank you for sharing this. It may sound a serious question, but I'm curious, how has the industry changed in the last 5 years? How did you felt the change, the evolution? You know, what challenges did you met?
When I was meeting WordPress in 2013, I was like, okay, this is crazy. They started plugin themes companies, design companies. Everybody was like taking the piece of WordPress pie, and I was like, oh my god, when this will happen again? Yeah, I was like, I need this again in my life, like to catch the wave somehow. And then I remember, I don't know, 2017 until the present. Those are like 5 years, no? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When I joined a master degree for AI, and I saw there like a complete uh, new way and trend that technology was going into. So I was a web, and I am a web developer at the base. So in web, there is not there are not so many crazy things happening in the past 5 years. Like, okay, we have Web 3.0, but this is another dimension. So in
Okay.
web that 2.0, it's like was still pretty still. But if you look to AI, and then, which is crazy, like how many microservices are now available at a really cheap price to, I don't know, train your models, run your machine learning algorithms. Yeah, crazy. And then the IoT side was like more and more democratic, and now you can combine actually robots with AI. Very simple. Yeah. And this trend that I am really focusing on right now, uh, well, it was the trend of low code, no code, which I'm not so aware about, but this trend of cross and multi platforms, and my bet on it was like there will be a platform, a really big platform that can do this cross platform and multi platform thing for like the good way, not really JavaScript way. The JavaScript way is a good way, but it's more complex than rewriting somehow something from scratch and make it like multi-platform. And this is the wave that I was expecting. If you remember the WordPress wave, now it is. I think there's the Flutter wave, because they actually have a business model in which they are pointing to a new market. And what happened with web in the JavaScript revolution and Bootstrap revolution back in, I don't know, 2015 will happen, and it's happening actually with mobile and cross-platform today. So, and this is Flutter for me. It was React Native, I don't know, Xamarin, a lot of solutions, but I put my money on Flutter because of this, and I want to catch the wave for the first time in my life.
Okay. So maybe you can share also some things about what you predict will happen in the next 5 years.
You know, there was that expression, that line with the future is bright. The future is, I don't know, technology in this case. It was a commercial. Well, personally, because of all this trend of, I don't know, having stuff processed automatic, and I feel like there will be a small gap, uh, a time gap in which we need to accommodate. But I don't know if this is my reptilian brain that is talking like we don't need any more new. But judging the trend, I feel like for me is overwhelming, and I'm connected daily to the technology, and starts to feel like overwhelming to keep track with all the solutions, technologies, possibilities. Yeah, so I feel like there will be a little time gap for us to accommodate with the new, or at least what is now considered new. And also, I see like a war between AIs into web content, because we have now AI that is creating content, and we as persons, we don't trust web content from a single source anymore. We need to find more sources, even in local news, Romanian local news. Yeah,
Yes.
not speaking about the English language, which is more accurate in AI to be spelled. I don't know. And also there will be AI systems that were trying to combat the AI that are creating fake news, and this will be interesting to see how they will fight to, I don't know, make the content trustable again. So
Okay.
those will be the next 5 years. And also multiple like democratic chips for, I don't know, solving medical disease and 3D printing organs, which is like, I think it is the most interesting part of the IT world, to see how we can actually repair people using technology.
Yeah, correct. I also found about this, and maybe we'll have time to approach it on our stages. Since you've shared with us your IT journey, I'm curious if you can share what is the best job decision you ever made, or you felt like is the best.
Yeah, well, I love my career. It was hard. It was like, neurologically speaking, I had problems, like brain problems. Burnout for me is like something that can happen in 2 weeks without any problem. But the best decision, I don't know if it is a decision. So I can thank myself, and I will thank me in the future for the same thing. I trust to be patient about the process, because when you try to learn by yourself and you try to find all sorts of tutorials and put it in practice, and not being really sure about the results, and being in a imposter syndrome all day long, is like a very hard thing to go on with. And yeah, the single best decision that I actually learned from my father was like, give it some time, be patient about it, even if
Thank
it is hard. Sorry.
even if it's hard, yeah,
Yeah.
correct. It's interesting that you mentioned this, because we also are approaching the subject. We have a keynote on the imposter syndrome. So it will be fun to approach it also, because you also mentioned that you help IT professionals and developers reach their healthy career in IT. So I think this is important for each professional to approach this side and have a healthy perspective on their job, because the burnout and other challenges are there also. Since we've opened the subject of advices and maybe inspiring message for tech people, I would like to ask you if you have any advice for the aspiring tech people who want to grow in the tech industry now.
So I have a quote here, which I think is mine. I don't know. So learn for professionalism, for quality, take the money, but don't make it about the money. So this is the advice. And
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, because everybody is everybody now. Mostly people are joining the career path on IT for money, but this is like the cheapest reason that you can approach the IT world, just for, I don't know. Yeah, the money are there. Like you can make whatever you like in IT, and you will be having the money to have a nice life, or you can invest in a product. But the sensation of creating, you're more than just working for money. You're like a builder. You build stuff. So do it for building quality and new stuff, and bringing more to the community, to IT community, for helping others to grow. And then the money will be like, the money are there
They're
wherever.
coming anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice perspective. Giving back to the IT community, it's something like that we are encouraging throughout our speeches and initiatives. By the way, you'll be present at DevTalks this year again as a big supporter of our team. And so this, I think, is a thank you note from our part, because you are there and helping the IT community, the dev community. So maybe you can share more about your keynote, Catching the Flutter Wave Until It's Not Too Late, since you
Exactly.
also mentioned
Yeah, so I dreamed about it. Um, it feels nice. Like the web world and the mobile world goes to this trend of creating everything from a single code base. Flutter, it's a really powerful product that we have this opinion that it seems to be too good to be true. Literally, it was like that from the beginning, from the first version. Like, come on, Google, really, are you really create an Android and an iOS platform from a single code base natively compiled on 60 FPS per second, frames per second? And I was like, let's check it. This should be full of bugs. But yeah, it was full of bugs on the beginning, and there are still bugs. Yeah, it is on the version 3 Flutter. But there is like, I see the market. It is your chance to do really nice creations with a CSS-like syntax. So you can think about from design to functionality, which is like what I like. So when I know what to do, I know how to do it. And then there are a lot of products and markets opened by this solution, which is not something. So personally, I'm lazy. For me, starting reading papers and learning sorts of AI is hard. I don't know why. It's hard. I'm doing it, but very little time, since I have to work more for, I don't know, going for my living. So Flutter is like the last chance of creating static code without any AI, integrating AI services if you want, and then creating complete solutions, create your own market, create your own design, and actually have a word in the market with it. So this is why, and because it is so big, and this is because it is so big, it will happen the same as I was saying in the beginning. So WordPress is having 43% of web right now. Yeah. So imagine that Flutter will have a lot of mobile apps because of Google decision of launching the operating system Fuchsia and their interest. So there will be a lot, and there are a lot of Flutter developers. Most of them, mostly they are calling themselves senior Flutter developers in a technology that exists for 2 years. Like, it's crazy. So being a good developer can be like, there will be in 1 year, there will be Flutter developers all over the world. But how you compete with them? How do you trust like your services are providing the best quality against, I don't know, their offer? So starting now, learning the basics when they're like actually literally creating themselves, you'll be having like a next step in front of the community that will be like, oh, I can do that. It is simple. I can install a plugin. I can install a theme. I can use a package for that. You have the chance to gain some time to learn it deeply and being like in those 5% good professionals in Flutter.
Okay, thank you for sharing more about your talk. We are looking forward. Also, I think we'll reach the end of our discussion of our interview. But before leaving our audience, maybe you can share a message for the Romanian IT community.
Well, I love the Romanian IT communities. I love, so there is so much energy, and especially if, I found so much energy in hackathons. So an advice, I don't know, do more for yourself. Like, it is nice that we provide so quality services, and I underline provide. Okay, while you are providing services and you are such a good developer, think about creating something for yourself, even if it is like an offline project just for you, or I don't know, projects that eventually you can address as a startup. But do it. let's do more on this. Let's, I don't know, have more from our own products, our own function, implementations, than just selling. It is easy to sell your work because you're good. It is harder to create a product, but I want to see more Romanian products in software.
We'll see. Thank you for sharing your message. Thank you also for joining us live. So we'll meet Alex at DevTalks this year. Keep an eye on our website because we have the final lineup revealed. So I think it's a fantastic lineup of speakers and also partners that are joining this edition, also for the first time in person. So we are first time after 2 years. So it's kind of new again. So we are stepping again. And we are very excited to meet you at DevTalks this year. So don't forget to check our website, devtalks.ro. See you again. Thank you, Alex, for being here.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And good luck with
Thank you.
all the
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.